Hello everyone, I'm Sue Levitt, discovering our rich Las Vegas history here at the Mob Museum, which used to be our federal courthouse and post office. Well, the Mob Museum is celebrating 10 years here in beautiful downtown Las Vegas, and no one's happier about this than the visionary himself, former City of Las Vegas Mayor Oscar Goodman.
We come from a place that nobody else comes from. We come from the mob. Let's have a mob museum. And that's where it all started.
It was June 1999. Oscar Goodman had just been sworn in as mayor of the city of Las Vegas.
The first old building that I saw that registered in me was the first day that I was sworn in as the mayor, and I went up to the top floor in City Hall and I looked down and I said, "What's the story with that old post office and courthouse?" And they said, "What do you mean?" I said, what's happening there?" They said, "Really nothing."
This is when then Mayor Goodman got on the phone to the federal government to inquire about the old courthouse and post office.
And I said, "I'm the mayor of Las Vegas. I'd like to buy the courthouse." They said, well, you're lucky, sir, because it's for sale. It's surplus property.
In 2002, the federal government sold the building to the city of Las Vegas for $1, with the understanding that it be preserved and used as a cultural center, preferably a museum.
And I'm thinking to myself, that's a good deal. We have the dollar.
The building at 300 Stewart Avenue opened in 1933 as the U.S. Post Office and Courthouse and is listed on the National Register of Historic Places. It wasn't long after opening, the building gained national attention. The courthouse was the setting for one of the famed Kefauver Committee hearings. Las Vegas casino owners and managers with ties to notorious mob bosses arrived in the second-floor courtroom on November 15, 1950, to answer questions about the mob from members of the U.S. Senate's Special Committee to investigate crime in interstate commerce. From the Kefauver hearings to trials to information shared as federal agents passed each other in the hallways, compelling history happened within this building.
It was my first federal case. And I did.
You were so nervous. Right?
Nervous. I didn't know how to pick a jury. And the fellow who I'm representing was this mobster's brother. And the mobster's brother said, "You better win this case."
Goodman remembers trying his very first federal case here as a young attorney, just getting his start in the world.
They paid me 30 dimes. I had no idea what a dime was. "There's 30 dimes, and you better win the case." We opened up this envelope. I saw 30 $100 bills. I had never seen so much money in my life. And I said to myself, "You better win this case."
And Goodman did win that case, and during his career as a defense attorney, he represented defendants accused of being some of the leading organized crime figures in Las Vegas.
At the end of the case, I got the recordation, and I gave it to the Mob Museum. So you could go there and actually hear a recording, a real recording, not something that's made up, of a mafia induction ceremony.
The centerpiece of the Mob Museum is the second-floor courtroom. The museum also acquired the brick wall where the St. Valentine's Day massacre took place. Other exhibits focus on mob violence, casino money skimming operations, and the efforts of law enforcement to counteract and eliminate those criminal operations.
I'm a special agent of the FBI.
So the Mob Museum offers an incredible journey. So it really starts at the turn of the 20th century. It tells the story of organized crime taking root in America. By the time you work your way through, you're in present day, so organized crime in the 21st century.
No visit to the museum would be complete without a trip down to the basement to visit the fully operational speakeasy and distillery.
It's such an amazing environment to be in because it's a working speakeasy. You can shimmy up to the bar, get yourself a Prohibition-era cocktail, learn the history behind that cocktail. You can see there are actually artifacts built right into the bar, video, other types of graphics and panels that tell you all sorts of amazing stories about the Prohibition era while you get to enjoy a little taste of it for yourself.
The space features exhibits related to the cultural history of the Prohibition era, as well as the bootleggers, rum runners, and moonshiners who ensured Americans still had access to liquor during the 13 years of federal prohibition. The museum distills its own 100 proof, 100% corn moonshine.
And it's really this, wonderfully enriching experience. So it's educational, but it sure does taste good.
But not all organized
If you were to go through the museum and watch every video, read every panel, look at every exhibit, try every interactive, it would literally take you days. I mean, there's so much that we have packed into this building, and it's also fascinating.
Last fall, the museum crossed the 3 million visitor mark, and before the pandemic, every single year, the museum has increased attendance. And every year, on the anniversary, February 14th, all Nevada residents can visit the museum for free.
I knew it. I knew when I said, you know, we need something different, something that's unique, something that is Las Vegas, that no other place in the world has. And our history, like it or not, is we were born for the mob.
Nobodies became wise guys.
Thanks for joining us as we take a look back at just a little piece of Las Vegas history. If you would like to learn more about the Mob Museum, you can visit themobmuseum.org. We'll see you next time.